I'm a bad motherfucker.
So now, January 6th subpoenas against Trump aides would be revoked under this new bill.
Oh,
so
while they're still young and beautiful.
Yeah. The resolution rescinds subpoenas against Steve Bannon, Dan Scavino, Peter Navarro, and Mark Meadows.
Can I fat shame Steve Bannon's face? Let me ask you that.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Why?
Oh, my. This is such terrible news. This is the end of democracy, Kurt.
Yeah.
It's almost like the entire thing was just a production and it flopped like a Pop-Tart movie.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't care less about January 6th as each day goes by. I care more about the Chinese spy balloon attack.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't care about that.
There is a new House GOP-led effort to revoke subpoenas that the House Select Committee on January 6th sent to key aides of former President Trump. Representative Andy Biggs, Thomas Massey, Eric Burleson introduced a resolution on Tuesday to rescind subpoenas that the now-defunct committee sent to Steve Bannon, Mark Meadows, Peter Navarro, and Dan Scavino. It would also withdraw the contempt of Congress resolutions filed against each individual over his defiance of those subpoenas.
Okay.
The committee was used as a political weapon with a singular focus on taking down Trump and his advisors through the intentional manipulation of facts and the silencing of the minority party, Burleson said on Twitter. The subpoenas issued by the illegitimate committee for Bannon, Navarro, Scavino, and Meadows were insufficient and should be rescinded, and the contempt of Congress referrals based on those subpoenas should be withdrawn. You know, at this rate, the court's going to have to refund Alex Jones all his money. Massey wrote on Twitter, "Time is of the essence. Speaker Johnson should immediately bring this resolution to the floor for a vote." As of Wednesday, the GOP legislation had 22 additional co-sponsors beyond the 3 lawmakers supporting it. So Bannon, Trump's former strategic advisor, and Navarro, his former trade advisor, were both sentenced to 4 months in prison in cases stemming from their contempt referrals by Congress. The Department of... Could you imagine if they put Barack Obama's... This is unbelievable.
I mean, I can, and De Niro can, Joe Behar can. We're upset about it.
The Department of Justice did not prosecute Meadows or Scavino. Pelosi established the Select Committee in mid-2021 in response to the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol when the former president's supporters stormed the building in protest of his election loss to President Biden.
The Feds supported Trump that much that they, because that was all Feds.
I agree. Pelosi established a select committee, really, and you should be grateful Nancy Pelosi took precious time away from monitoring her stock trading numbers to even bother with this. An initial vote to create a 9/11-style commission to investigate the riot passed the House with 35 Republicans and all the Democrats, but it died in the Senate. A 9/11-style commission, not the January 6th. The House subsequently voted to create a select committee with just 2 GOP votes, which granted Pelosi full power of appointments in consultation with Republicans.
Sounds fair. Sounds fair. And Cheney's repulsive daughter will be heading that up? Yeah.
GOP's critics of the panel have used that fight as evidence of the committee being a partisan exercise, you think? Including Pelosi's rejection of 2 Trump-allied Republicans that were nominated by then-Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. One of those allies, Representative Jim Banks from Indiana, is one of the co-sponsors of Burleson's resolution. So here's their 5-page resolution to rescind the subpoenas issued for Bannon. Thomas Massey, and here it is. It says the committee on September 23rd, 2021, October 6th, 2021, and February 9th, 2022, the subpoena, they're going to rescind the subpoenas issued by them on those dates, whereas June 30th, 2021, Representative Nancy Pelosi, then Speaker of the House of Representatives, established the Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack. Whereas the Select Committee was deficient in its composition, as House Resolution 503, the resolution establishing the committee stated, the speaker shall appoint 13 members to the Select Committee, 5 of whom shall be appointed after consultation with the minority leader. Whereas Speaker Pelosi refused to seat Republican members named by the minority leader, Kevin McCarthy, to the Select Committee, resulting in a solely partisan exercise determined to vilify President Trump and his advisors for the January 6th breach of the Capitol.
Wow.
I didn't know this.
Well, this is like, it was more of a TV production than a real thing.
Well, it was. We've covered that, but I didn't know that she didn't go along with the resolution to have Kevin McCarthy get to pick some people on the committee too. Whereas Speaker Pelosi refused the selections of Minority Leader McCarthy and named only Representative Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger to the Select Committee, leaving the committee with 9 members rather than the required 13.
Oh, that's breaking Illuminati rules.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
Whereas Select Committee held hearings, issued subpoenas, and published a flawed report without the number of members required by House Resolution 503. Whereas shortly before hearings began, the Select Committee named Representative Cheney as vice chair and operated without a ranking minority member. The position of vice chair is distinct and different from a ranking minority member, as clearly understood by House rules, conference and caucus rules, and precedent. Resolution 503 specifically required the chair of the Select Committee to consult with the ranking minority member in certain circumstances. Resolution 503 included the requirement that the chair of the Select Committee could only issue a subpoena upon consultation with the ranking minority member. I didn't know any of this. Whereas House Democrats failed to draft and pass House Resolution 503 in a manner giving the Select Committee chair unilateral authority to issue subpoenas, thereby rendering all subpoenas issued by the Select Committee legally insufficient. So they didn't amend the House resolution to make it those subpoenas legal. Where Representative Benny Thompson, then chair of the Select Committee, failed to ensure the preservation of all documents from the Select Committee as it required by House rules, and including documents, transcripts of witness interviews, and video recordings of the interviews. The Select Committee promoted numerous theories without first verifying the veracity of the allegations by interviewing witnesses with actual first-hand knowledge of the allegation. We saw that happen. The Select Committee was a partisan exercise. From the beginning, and its hearings and final report are tainted by the unprecedented partisan decisions made by Speaker Pelosi.
I remember I had a friend who was like, well, I mean, Liz Cheney is showing a lot of integrity.
Yeah.
And I go,
like somehow she's going against her party. She's doing what the establishment wanted.
I remember a person who told me, I was like, oh, you don't actually know anything about it.
No.
Oh, I was shocked, genuinely shocked. Somebody I like a lot.
The January 6th committee presented uncorroborated evidence that fit its narrative with the intent of disgracing President Trump, his advisors, and supporters in an effort to influence future elections. Members of the January 6th committee withheld and destroyed information that would have provided evidence that former President Donald Trump did not engage in an insurrection, and the imprisonment of Peter Navarro and the impending imprisonment of Steve Bannon represents an unprecedented attempt to silence and marginalize political opponents. So that's what their resolution says. I didn't know how corrupt the January 6th committee was until this. I knew it was all a show trial, which I've been saying since the beginning.
I mean, that's pretty corrupt already.
Yeah. Wow. So,
I didn't think they were so corrupt that it wouldn't stand at all.
It wouldn't stand at all.
Like, I thought they were at least corrupt where their thing would work out a little bit for them. But none of it's working out. I think they were just like, we'll do this and then we'll burn that bridge when we come to it.
Now we're going to see how many never-Trumpers are in the Congress in the Republican Party. Because if on a straight vote, this would pass. Now we're going to see if Mike Johnson will even bring it up.
Yeah, we'll know who's in the neocon.
So now we'll see.
World order bullshit.
We'll see who's in the neocon
Mhm.
world order bullshit. That's it, because that's what January 6th was. I mean, the prosecution of those people. It's the neocons trying to grab control of the narrative so they can go on with their neocon warmongering.
That scumfuck Bill Kristol, he's a big part of that.
Yes.
Yeah. What a scumbag.
Okay, that's all the stuff for me for today.
Hey, come see me in outside Vancouver in Westminster, BC.
There you go.
At Rick Bronson's House of Comedy.
That's this weekend.
Yep, I'm going Thursday. I'll be going there tomorrow.
Okay.
Like I got to go pack.
All right, over to Steph.
All right, bye, guys.
All right, bye. Bye, Kurt. All right, there we go. Hey, Brittany Walken, thank you. Savage, thank you. Saviors, taxation and slavery. Why only have black slaves when you can have everyone? Now they get a cut of every transaction plus no more room and board.
Hey, weren't you surprised
Savior.
Weren't you both surprised at his explanation of what taxes were?
Yes.
It made me want to have a revolution.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, of federal taxes.
Shoot it to me.
Not state taxes. Hey, do you owe, speaking of taxes, do you owe back taxes? Pandemic relief is now over. Along with hiring thousands of new agents and field officers, the IRS has kicked off 2024 by sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns and balances owed. Don't waive your rights. Don't waive your rights. First of all, don't speak to the IRS yourself. That's my 100% advice. Don't speak to the IRS yourself. Get a CPA or one of these people. Don't waive your rights and speak with one of them on your own. They are not your friends. The IRS agents are not your friends. Tax Network USA, which is a trusted tax relief firm, saved over $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they can help you secure the best deal possible. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you. Whether it's businesses or personal taxes, even if you have the means to pay or you are on a fixed income, they can help finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. So they have solutions. Talk to them for free and see if their solution works for you. And go ahead and look up. They get an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, but look around. Look at their reviews. See what you think. Call 1-800-245-6000 for a private free consultation or visit tnusa.com/Jimmy. That's 1-800-245-6000 or go to tnusa.com/Jimmy. How was that? That good? Okay. Hey, let me guess. Your medicine cabinet is crammed with stuff that doesn't work? You still aren't sleeping, you still hurt, and you're stressed out? What if there's a better solution out there for you? CB Distillery targeted formulations are made from the highest quality clean ingredients. No fluff, no fillers. Just pure, effective CBD solution designed to help support your health. In 2 non-clinical surveys, 81% of their customers experienced more calm. 80% said CBD helped with pain after physical activity, and an impressive 90% said they slept better with CBD. If you struggle with a health concern and haven't found relief, make the change to CB Distillery. And with over 2 million customers and a solid 100% money-back guarantee, CB Distillery is the source to trust. I have a 20% discount code for you to get you started. Visit cbdistillery.com and use the code Jimmy for 20% off. That's cbdistillery.com, and the code is Jimmy, cbdistillery.com. All right. Over to Steph.
Big screen camera 4, please, while Jimmy steps out. And what are the priorities? Muscles. All right. Hey, I want to thank DC. Thank you so much. SS, maybe YouTube doesn't like any mention of a website. William Bankston developed an energy information healing method and cured breast cancer in mice. William Bankston. Let me write that down. William Bankston. I'm taking notes here and sending them to my team. Bankston. All right. Tarek, thank you so much. You say, what is your favorite HU chocolate? I don't know what HU stands for.
HU is that new chocolate I eat.
Oh.
I like, honestly, all of them.
He's liking all of them.
There isn't one. That's not phony. Each one of them is unbelievably good.
Yeah, I like the one that it had like a raspberry in it.
There's one with a crunch, actually. My favorite is there's one that's a vanilla crunch.
A vanilla crunch.
Chocolate with
Tart.
vanilla crunch.
But really, every one that he's tried, he's really liked.
I've really liked.
So that was a good question, Tarek. Brian, Metzger only crushed 3 high noons on stage Saturday night. Weak sauce. Thank you so much, Brian. Jenna Tillis. Thank you so much, Jenna. Thank you for hanging in there, Jenna. Garland, free Assange. Thank you, Garland. Revolution 2.0 2024. We have the authority. It's time. Mr. J. Thank you, Mr. J. You can come back to Steph. Number one fan. Thank you, number one fan. Grab freedom by the Bitcoin. Chris Shipley. Money is a symbol for the idea of worth. It is not worth. Collective delusion keeps us all tied to this. SS CAG. These two should either start a podcast or get a room. One of the best all time. Okay, hashtag, I'm not going to read that. SS, money is always a fake economy. And then, it doesn't even have a name. How do you do that? Justice for Paul, love it. Thank you so much. My mom had dementia, and Genocide Joe reminds me of her so much. Loony by nature. Let's see what this one says. Deficit interest is $1 trillion. Everyone 100 days. 5 years from today, 10 trillion a year in interest. 10 years from today, interest on a deficit 100% of total GDP. Game over. What's his name? One. Thank you for that. Okay, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I know you're saying that he didn't get to it. He just didn't get to it. He didn't get to those stories today. There were other things that he ended up covering. So I guess you'll see those stories on Friday. The reason the tax is to destroy money, it reduces the net amount of cash in circulation and prevents people from sitting idle on assets. User. All right. Let's see anything else. Stiff Richie. Thank you, Stiff Richie, for your generosity. Okay, so federal taxes are used for inequality, climate change, and to fight fascism, also to take away our purchasing power and control how we spend. Got it. Get rid of the Fed. Income tax now. Mayleash. Stiff Richie, thank you again. Greasy N-word. Taxation is theft. Banking is usury. Government can't solve problems. What else are you going to tell me? The sky's blue? That's Greasy. Thank you, Greasy. Chain Toker, thank you. Already dead, thank you. Thomas Autonomous, thanks. Hemcar, got it. Lurka, thank you. Rev Botella, just making sure I read these. Yuckmouth, thank you. Reverend Botella. Wadham Booth, thank you, Wadham Booth. Eric, thank you. Eric Skapatsky. That's why I love Jimmy so much. Look at you, Skapatsky. That's sweet. Are you coming to our show in Vegas? That'll be a fun one. All right. How can we watch the videos? How can anyone watch these videos of Biden argue with a straight face that his currently inability to talk is due to lifelong speech impediment? I know I read that one. I want McStone, socialist. Thank you. Love Loony by nature. Thank you. Reverend Bolella. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back on Friday at 1 p.m. Hey, and now, why don't you go do something nice for someone? I'm going to. Bye.
Sure, it's a common ocean, perpetual emotion, but I don't need the comfort of any lies. I've seen the ending, and there's no ascending rise. Oh, back when I was younger,
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit
Isn't it swell? The memes make themselves. They found a rabbi hole, tunnels and all. There's Jews in the walls. Isn't it bliss? The rabbinical grace soiling the mattresses. Well, let me tell you. If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle 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 digga digga diddle diddle dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
at this time, more than any other time, you know, revolution is necessary. It is necessary. Not only based on what has happened with the MOVE organization, you know, the babies that have been murdered, you know, MOVE adults that have been murdered, bombs being dropped on us, but past that to what is happening with all black people, so-called minority people, you know, money poor people. You know, this government, as has been said earlier, has waged war on us. But you know, something about us, particularly here in America, we don't really understand that. You know, we don't really know what war is. You know, for black people, for poor people, that people see as good, that they wasn't forced to do, that they didn't do to try to keep black people appeased, you know, and calm down so that black people wouldn't riot. A prison situation is a crystallized example of that. You can make phone calls in prison. They have movies in prison, but they don't have those things because they just want to be nice to prisoners. They have those things because they know damn well if they don't have, you know, people being able to contact their family, if they don't have, you know, facilities for people to sit there and watch movies, people are going to be frustrated, upset, and they're going to direct that frustration at them prison administrators, and they're going to have riots on their hands. You know, they're going to have people in them prisons turning them prisons out. That's why they have movies. That's why they have access to phones the way they do. And a stop to it when we don't like it, or encouraging it when it's something that's in our interest. You know, we have to call the shots. The people have to take the reins of this system and start dictating, you know, what we need, what needs to be done. And, you know, taking the initiative to do it ourselves. We can't rely on this system. I mean, you know, don't people see what's happening? Every single confrontation that MOVE people have been involved in, every single issue, you know, oppression, economic issues, every single issue facing our people, you know, is something that can be dealt with very, very simply. All people got to do is make their wishes known. All people have to do is stand up and say, listen, we're not accepting that. Unity is the key. Unity is the key to revolution. Revolution ain't nothing to be afraid of. It ain't nothing to shy away from. Revolution, contrary to what officials, you know, this system and those backing the officials running the system, you know, want people to believe that revolution means violence, you know, means blood in the street. I'm saying it can get to that point, but it don't have to be violent. You know, when people come together and take a strong stand on an issue, this government don't have no choice but to listen. Where you think they get their authority from? They don't have no power, but they do have authority to do certain things. Where you think they get it from? They get it from us, from the people. You know, they get it from us accepting the things that they do to be done to stop it. Then you have some people who want to then turn around and say, yeah, well, you know, it's the best we have, and want to make excuses. The time for excuses is over. It's over. You know, every man, woman, and child has to be involved in this revolution. Not only has to be, but is, whether you want to be or not. I mean, our babies gave their lives for this revolution on May 13th. You know, men, women, and children were murdered. And not just move babies, you know. What about all of the young men, women, you know, children 8, 9 years old shot down on the street by cops, you know, by drug pushers? I mean, you know, where do you think that mentality comes from? It comes from this system, from the mentality of this system of getting over, you know, making a quick buck, you know. I'm saying that's where that needs to be done to stop it. Then, you know, what I want people to really, really understand is that it's past time. It is past time for poor people, black people, you know, to realize that this system has failed you. It has failed you. You can't get nothing from it. And what people got to do is withdraw our support from it and start doing for ourselves. That's what we got to do. You know, how long are people going to sit back and beg, you know, this government to do what's right when for hundreds of years all you've gotten is a slap in the face? All you've gotten is this government kicking your ass. That's all. That's all black people have ever gotten from this government.